Hi! For this lesson, I will be teaching you how to transform the patterns of your basic dress with waistline into your foundation pattern, or in the lingo of dressmakers, your sloper. First, I will start with the fitting concerns. Now, let us start making alterations on the fit of the dress. First, for instance, on this shoulder line, you feel that this is quite raised. The end of the shoulder line is quite raised, and you'd like to reduce this to 1/2 of an inch or 1.3 centimeters. You can use a pin to mark the alteration, or a pencil to mark the alteration this way. Then, for instance, for the drop of the shoulder, you'd like to raise it or put it in by 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter. Let us just say you want to permanently, you'd like to raise the drop of the shoulder line by 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter permanently. Again, you can mark this with a pencil. Now that we've raised this part of our shoulder line, you might have problems with the lower part of your armhole, and you'd like to lower it by 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter. Again, you can do that. Or if everything's fine, then there's no need to make adjustments on this part of your armhole. Now for the waistline, just in case you'd like to have it more fitted or snug, you can actually reduce the waistline by 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter, or even 1/2 of an inch or 1.3 centimeters. We can now start making the alterations on our dress by ripping the stitches off. So, for the first basic dress with waistline, it is best when you sew the fabric pieces together, not to sew the facing, so that it is easier to make your alterations. Okay, these are the main patterns of the basic dress with waistline. The basic dress with waistline is very important to us because actually we can use this as our foundation pattern, wherein we use this to draft other dress styles. Eventually, I will be showing you how to do this, transforming this foundation pattern or basic dress pattern into different dress styles. Okay, we're using the standard medium size figure for our lesson. I will start with the front bodice pattern. Okay, remember that I wanted this reduced because it was raised by 1/2 of an inch or 1.3 centimeters. And this is the basic dress pattern with waistline. So, I will go down 1/2 of an inch or 1.3 centimeters at the edge of the shoulder and armhole. And from this point, I will connect it to this point, the corner of the shoulder line and the neckline of the front bodice. I will connect it this way with the vanishing line. Okay? So eventually I will be cutting this out. Then I mentioned that just in case you're not happy with the drop of this shoulder and you want it a little higher, you can always go in, let's say 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter. Okay? We mark this, and you can actually start reshaping this part of the armhole. Now, on this armhole and bust level, just in case you want to lower your armhole level and bust level by 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter, do so by marking it this way and again reshaping it this way. Now, I mentioned that I also wanted to reduce the waistline to make it more snug. All we have to do is go in 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter. Of course, you can always go in case it's really loose, you can go in 1/2 of an inch or 1.3 centimeters. So now, I will also have to reshape this part of the side seam because I went in 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter. Okay, to reshape this side seam, I will have to close the dart allowance by pinning it this way. Then, I will be using this side of the curve ruler. I will connect the adjusted waistline to the top of the side seam on the bust or armhole level. It's easier for me to do it this way. I have more control of the curve ruler. Here's the adjustment that we made. Now, we can set this aside and work on the back bodice pattern. Okay, for the back bodice pattern, we always have to refer to the front bodice pattern. Whatever adjustments we did on the front bodice pattern, we have to do on the back bodice pattern. So, remember that here on the edge of the shoulder, we reduce this by 1/2 of an inch or 1.3 centimeters. And again, we will have to connect this adjusted point to the edge of the shoulder line and the corner of the neckline this way. And remember, we went in 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter. So again, we have to go in 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter. And again, we have to reshape the armhole curve this way. And now remember, for the front bodice pattern, I mentioned that if you want the armhole curve lower on this area, you may go down 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter or even 1/2 of an inch or 1.3 centimeter and then reshape this area. So just in case you did go down 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter on the front bodice pattern, you have to do the same on the back bodice pattern and also reshape this area this way. But since we did not really go down, I will not have to reshape this area. And for the waistline, we went in 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter. Again, we will have to reshape this by connecting the corner of the armhole and bust side seam area to the adjustment that we did on the waistline. Okay? Remember that we reduced the waistline by 1/4 of an inch on the front and back bodice patterns. We also have to do this on the front skirt pattern. So from here, we went in 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter. And again, we have to reshape this with the vanishing line here. Likewise, for the back pattern of the skirt, we again have to remove 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter and make the necessary reshaping of this area. There. For the front bodice, we went down 1/2 of an inch or 1.3 centimeters at the end of the shoulder line. And here we went in 1/4 of an inch. we have to pin the dart allowance so that and it shouldn't be pinned this way where there's a space. This one should really be closed completely. The dart lines should be lying on top of each other. Here. Then we will cut the adjustment of the waistline this way. Now for the back bodice pattern, we reduce the waistline and we do the final cutting or recutting of our pattern. Then for the shoulder, we also start cutting the alterations. And also here at the edge of the shoulder, we went in 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 of a centimeter. I am now cutting out the alteration on the front skirt pattern. I am cutting out the alteration. I have now completely converted the pattern pieces of the basic dress with waistline into a foundation pattern or sloper, which I can use to draft other dress styles with the assurance of making a close to perfect fit dresses. To secure the foundation pattern, it is best to put your name and date on the front bodice pattern, the back bodice pattern, the front skirt pattern, and lastly, the back skirt pattern.